what we're gonna show you here is you're gonna put a central file on a flash drive, and then you're each gonna work off a local file, and then you merge them to the central file on the flash drive. Maybe we'll explain a little bit more of that.
Okay. So first thing you're going to do is get that blank thumb drive. That should be your first note.
How big of a thumb drive?
You can get an 8 for pretty cheap.
Yeah, an 8 one's probably, I don't know, $5–10.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a file that's bigger than that. So
Just be safe. Because if you resave and make duplicates or copies, back yourself up. It might not have fast.
okay. So first thing you're going to do is come in and open Revit. And wait for Revit.
Wrote it.
Okay, good. If you want, I mean.
So before you hard drive wouldn't work.
It should. It should work. Your file shouldn't be bigger than that. Yeah. Well, just for you have plenty of space. Plus, you're going to be doing renderings and so forth. So, yeah. First thing you're going to do is go and create a new project. On this new project, I know half of you did not listen to me when you're doing your house this time, but you need to go into Browse, and there is a residential default. Okay? Then you hit OK or Open.
What that does, that residential, is it sets your elevations to the right elevations rather than have, you know, floor 1.
Level 1 at 0, 0, and then you're trying to create everything else off that.
It makes it all consistent in the residential format.
It also loads in a lot of the components that you need for a residential home. A lot of you are coming to us and saying, well, I don't have my cabinets, it's not there. That's because you didn't do this. Residential default, we had to go in and help find them for you. This already brings in all that stuff for you.
Okay. So if I was to create a grading rubric for the TAs, I might include this in there. As blunt as I can be. Okay, so you see you have all your levels that are awesome and wonderful right here. You have this view, okay? To get this, we're going to let you figure out how you're going to collaborate between each other. We're going to show you how to set it up, and then you're going to have to work together as a team to accomplish the task. So, first thing you're going to do to create the central file is you come to Collaborate, right here. So go to the Collaborate tab. You hit Work Sets. And that's up here in the top left corner. If you want to say top left corner, dash Work Sets. Okay. It'll give you this. You're about to enable work sharing. And you're like, oh great, perfect. You'll hit OK.
Let me just add something I just thought about. This, you are doing together as a group, one of them, just on your single flash drive.
Okay.
So not each of you is doing this, just one for your group on this part.
Okay. It'll bring up this. With work sets, there's a multitude of ways to do them. You can create your own new work sets, okay? This might be a little confusing, okay, when you're doing it. You can assign work sets saying that this person has control over the walls, this person has control of the floors, okay? We're not going to show you how to do that because it's not necessary if you've collaborated amongst each other, okay? So if you're saying, okay, well, I'll work on the basement features, Okay, you don't need to restrict that access. Okay, that is a part of your collaboration area, and you need to communicate that effectively. Okay, so please don't get confused. We're going to deal a little bit more with this window here to come, but for now we're just going to hit OK. Okay, so now we've said that this file is going to use work sets, file sharing. You know, you're collaborating with other people. So with this blank document, all you're going to do now is you'll come over to the R button, your icon. You're going to save as. You're going to say project. Okay, and you're going to come find your flash drive. Okay, I'll create a new folder so I don't. Okay, and inside here, you're going to save this. On the Save menu, there's an Options button. Okay, you will go to Options. Okay, you don't want this thing saving itself 20 times. Okay, that'll take up your thumb drive fairly quickly. For all intents and purposes, 3 should be enough. Okay. You'll know that you set the work sets up by this grayed out checkbox. It says, make this a central model after save. And that's what you're doing on this step. Okay? If you hit OK, you're still here. I highly recommend you naming your file something like this. Group 1 central file do not touch ever.
This is actually pretty
Or
important,
die.
guys.
Okay?
Because once you save this central file, if you go in and you start messing around with it, it's going to crash your entire thing.
Your group's going to hate you. Okay? So, you have something that clearly illustrates no touchy. Okay? We're going to break that rule once. Okay, so you save that. I know, right?
Exactly. It's like English. Grammar.
I know. It's we're going to transgress it. It was a temporal, given the circumstance, we're going to transgress it. Yeah. Okay. So, you've created that, you exit out. Okay? That only needs to be done once on a flash drive. Okay, I'll repeat that one again. Only once onto the flash drive, you'll create the central model. Okay? So everyone does not need the central. It's going to be on your thumb drive. Okay? There's a way to do it via the network, but it was going all sorts of crazy and creating more problems than it was worth. So, once you have that, you can minimize this. You go to the flash drive. You're going to have to pass the flash drive amongst yourselves to do this. Okay? So, be patient with each other. You have your long name. Central file, do not touch, blah, blah, blah. You're going to select this, right-click it, you will copy it. Okay? You won't rename it, you will copy it. Okay? Then you'll go onto your J drive. Okay? Go to somewhere where you know where it's going to be at. I'll go to CM155 and go right here, and I'm going to paste this. Okay? Now, there's the central one that's on the thumb drive, and now I've just put one on my local computer that I can access anywhere here in the lab as long as it's on my J drive. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this as David's local file group 1. Okay? So now I have that file, but it's a local copy for me. Okay? Once you have that in there, you'll come in, you can double check, you'll open. Once you open, you will not be opening the central file. Okay? You'll come to your computer, the J drive where you saved that. So you're not double clicking, okay? You might want to make a note of this. Okay? This is really important. Okay? Aaron's shaking his head because this is, in the competition, this is one of the things that we had to stress. You do not double click. You don't go straight to your J drive and just double click that file to have it open the file and Revit at the same time.
So you don't go to this view in Windows Explorer. Oops, sorry. You don't go to here and double click this file. You can screw it up. You have to open it up using Revit. Go to Revit.
Open.
Do like Dave set up here. Open and find your file.
Make sure you do that. Okay, please. Because you might have a really sick project and all of a sudden one of your teammates synchronizes or updates from their thing that they did wrong and it all goes kaput. Okay? Word to the wise. Okay, so you open it through Revit. You select it, say open, and it's saying, okay, you're doing this from a central model, it may have been a copy, blah, blah, blah. You hit close. It's just telling you that this is connected with your central model, okay? So now you have this, okay? An important thing, right now if you have the thumb drive, okay, you pretty much have all control. That's kind of what the default circumstances are, okay, with how it's set up. You can edit to anything, you can move anything, you can do whatever you want to all the walls, okay? We're going to show you one of the things that are super important here in just a sec. So I'm just going to draw a wall to show you kind of what it can do. So you just select a wall and you draw it across, okay? So you have this wall in your building, right? So if you go, and you can go all the way back to this, you can see in this little window right here, maybe you can, you can see right here that there is nothing in the central file right now, right? But in my local file, I have wall. You will come, there's two ways to do this. There's a fast button up here that has the synchronizing settings. Or you can still come into the Collaborate tab and go right here. It says Synchronize with Central. In other words, what you're doing is you're updating what you've already drawn to the Central and taking what the Central has and giving it to your local. So say Rusty and Trevor are working, and Rusty's done all the basement walls while he's been doing all the first floor walls, and then they both synchronize. One synchronizes first, so say Rusty synchronizes, the basement walls are now in the central, right? But he doesn't have the first. So he synchronizes, he gets the basement walls, but then puts the first floor walls into the central. Then you would have to synchronize again to get it. Okay, so it's like, make sure you're synchronizing, getting all the information necessary to your local to continue. Okay?
So to sync it, you have to have a thumb drive in your computer.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay?
So you gotta pass it.
So
You're
you're
gonna-
switching back and forth between teammates and your.
Yes. We'll show you kind of how to do that right after I synchronize.
Alright.
So just to get you an idea where we're going. So you've drawn this. We see that the central has nothing in it. There's either this top button right by the save button, where the synchronize is, or there's the large icon where you can centralize this way. Okay?
So are we ever going to be hitting the save button?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it saves to your local file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you can centralize it and update the
Yeah.
synchronize it.
Okay.
You can save it and then later sync it.
Exactly. Yeah. Your local, you can save it. Make sure you say on Wednesday you need to be doing this, but you guys can't meet until Thursday. So Wednesday you're doing your part. Okay, you save it, and then Thursday you get the flash drive. You can update that way. Okay.
Let me just go over again real quick why we said in the lab you gotta be communicating. Because if Dave's trying to do a different floor plan than I'm doing, and we sync it, it can throw it all off. So you guys gotta be really working together, do it at the first part to get it how you want. So that one person's not working, doing a different thing on a floor plan, trying to change the floor plan, and the other person's trying to change it a different way.
Yeah. You can think about putting in grid lines. That might help you. I know 105 days. You definitely did that for your house. It gives you a corner reference for everything. Those are my suggestions. Take them for what they're worth. Okay, so you synchronize. Is end result, right? And
Takes
you
a
wait.
while- Takes a while to synchronize.
Okay, so I hit synchronize. If we come back, we can see that the central file now has my wall. Okay? That's awesome. Okay? So we want to pass it. So the easiest way to do that is we can go, and I'll relinquish everything. So now I'm just in this window. That way, keep Revit open, it's faster. You can eject. I can't move that thing, can I? Okay, you'll just eject your thumb drive.
I think everyone knows how to eject a thumb drive.
Okay? Right, eject thumb drive. And then you'll pass it to your teammate. Okay?
Now, it's important before we start drawing, probably, make sure all your teammates copy. You remember how Dave copied it and made a local file on his J drive? You should probably all do that separately before you start drawing.
Yeah.
So before Dave put that wall in there, I would get the flash drive, plug it in my computer, like I'm doing right now. I would go to where it says Central File, Do Not Touch. I don't open it, but I right-click it. I do copy. I go to my J drive, make a file where I know where it is, paste it, right-click, do rename, put Spencer Local Group 1. Okay? Does that make sense?
So that process of making your local file should be done 3 times, 1 per member of your group. Okay? So he's going to do that right.
Hey Dave,
What's up, Chris?
when you sync your file with the shared file, does everything off of the shared file that has been synced with other people come onto your local
Yep.
file?
Yep.
It does? Okay.
So if you're so say you were in a 3-man group, okay, and you say 1, 2, 3, 1 syncs first, then 2, then 3. But 1 would also have to sync again to get what 2 and 3 did. Okay.
Well, 2 would have to sync with 3, right?
And 3, or 2, sorry, I apologize.
I feel like everyone's file is just going to crash. Seriously, I know it's going to crash.
I'm just copying it real quick.
The reason why we're doing this is because that way 3 of you can work on the model rather than 3 of you gather around one computer and watch one person model. I mean, yes, this requires more intellect and brain power to think out how you're going to update and work with one another rather than give nose-goes and watch one kid suffer, okay? But it's also faster. So the 2 weeks, to give you a perspective, is plenty of time. For our competition, we did a 53-story skyscraper in, 4.5, 5 hours? So a 2-story building should be plenty of time in 2 weeks.
Question. So I'm guessing once you sync your local file will be the central file, basically.
What it does
After
is-
the other 2 people sync and you sync it to yours, all their stuff will be on your local.
What you're doing is, your central file, what it does is stores everyone's information and can distribute it and take it back. Distribute it and take it back. Distribute it and take it back. And so it's like a central hub for everyone to communicate in between each other to get the information. It's like a storage area is what it's doing. So it allows you to build the building faster.
So there's no way to run it like a Google Doc? Maybe in the
Because you
future?
have to, no, you can't. Because you have to access it. The file has to be accessible that way. And you have to create the path through the network.
Okay, guys, so I just drew something, just updated it. Who
Okay, so Spencer went through that same process. He added something. We'll go back. He plugged it in. So, do not come in here and open your local this way. Okay, make sure you come into Revit. Go to open. Find yours. Hit open. So I'm like, okay, I have my file open. I want to see what Spencer's done because I really don't know. You hit synchronize, and it brings in the walls that Spencer has drawn. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a monument. It's called modern art. I hope you appreciate it. It inspires you to greatness. Okay? That's the idea of what you'll be doing. Okay? The last thing that we're going to show you, as far as this is concerned, is if you do not have the thumb drive, you'll run into this. It'll say that you don't have the rights to it, so you have to tell the thing, I want all the power. You can quote that and put that in parentheses. I want all the power.
It's going to give you a lot of warnings.
It'll give you some warnings, okay? But you're saying, I want the one ring to rule them all. Okay?
Okay, so Dave's
I hope you remember that analogy because it will help you in life and always. Okay, so here we
Okay,
go.
so let's say Dave added something, and I'm going to get the flash drive now, but Dave wants to keep working on it.
So I have to close it so it can eject it properly. He ejects it. Okay? So now I still want to open mine. I go and find it. So now I don't have the thumb drive. Spencer has the thumb drive. And it says, oh, it can't access the central file. Well, okay, that's fine. Because he has it in his hand. And you're like, okay, thanks for the warning. Close. And then say you want to move this. It's going to give you an error saying you have to obtain permission. Okay? If you want to send you... Normally, if you have it hooked in, like, through a NAS or some other central storage device, you can just send it directly. Okay? These computers are a little temperamental, so we're just going to... We have a workaround for that, i.e., you just take all the power. Okay? Rather than asking permission from someone else, you're going to go to collaborate. Okay? You go to work sets. In here, you're going to go and you're going to open up all these. All of the possible ones that you could.
Check them all. Check them all.
Yeah. Okay? So right here you have a giant list of everything that is in the project.
And see
Okay.
under where it says edible and it all says no? That's why Dave can't touch anything.
Okay? If you were doing another project, you could assign people exact parts to work on. Okay? But if you don't understand how that's working, this is an easier way to do it. Okay? So when you're in here, you can select the first one, hit the shift key. So now you have them all selected. Okay? And this is your power button saying editable. I.e., I want to be able to edit all of these things. You click it, your name appears, and you obtain the one ring. Okay?
And this is without the thumb drive.
This is without the thumb drive. When you have the thumb drive, it's like it is the ring, rather than, secondary power. You have it. You don't have to ask for it. You just do what you want when you have the thumb drive. Okay?
So you have to do this every time you get the thumb drive back. You have to reopen it. You have to do this every single time.
Not when you get the thumb drive back. When you give the thumb drive in.
If you're working on it separately from someone else, you have to have it. You have to do this.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time you do that.
So 2 of the 3 will always have to do this. If you're working all at the same time.
You would do this at the beginning of your session. Say you work a half hour, then you'd have to do it again. But hopefully, if you can click 4 buttons, it's not that much work to do.
No, I know. I'm just,
All right, that's
When you said one, I thought only one in the group at a time
No.
could do it.
No. So if you have the thumb drive, you don't need to do this. If the two next to you are working on their local files, well, all three of you are working on your local files, right? The one with the thumb drive, he automatically has the ability to change what he wants. Okay? The other two, while they're working on their local files, will have to come in here and do that. So after you've selected everything, you can hit OK.
You only have to do it once, or you have to do it every time?
Every time. Yeah. Says there's risks in doing this. Yes, we want to still continue. Okay? Now, I can move that wall. I can make this a box. I can spell my name. I forget sometimes. Okay. I have to have the thumb drive to synchronize. Okay. So I can have all those things. Go ahead and put it in.
So now I've finished doing what I want to do. Dave's finished his part. We both communicated who's working on what, so we don't screw it up. I give him back the flash drive.
Something to be aware of, just make sure that you have the file before you synchronize, so you can hit synchronize.
Can you save this to your J drive and synchronize later?
And I win. Okay? Not Spencer, because I wrote my name. Okay? So he was working on the thumb drive. He didn't have to get that. Say you wanted to exit out. You can. What it'll say is, you want to relinquish elements. Do you want to relinquish power? Go ahead. Okay?
What does that mean?
It's rather than having all those rights that you gave. Okay?
Give it back.
Give it back that way. Okay? So now that's
That way
the.
when the next person plugs in the flash drive. he
So
doesn't-
you don't need to save your local file first before you close it?
What?
Do you need to save it to your local file first?
When you
No.
synchronize it,
It
it saves it with
should
it.
save it, but I would always make
If you're
sure
not,
you
if
can
you're not,
save
if
it.
you're not, if you have, say, this is an example. Say he's working on his local. There's no way to synchronize within the next day. Okay, he has to hit the save button. He can't synchronize. Since I'm synchronizing back and forth right here, when I synchronize, it saves my local files as well.
Okay.
Okay, so say you're working on it on Tuesday, but you can't synchronize it till Thursday. Okay, you have to hit the save button to be able to save your things, and then you can synchronize on Thursday and do that.
Okay.
Okay. I really hope you took good notes.
I took a video.
Okay. So that's what we have to show you for today. Brother Bird's putting up those other recommendations.